So what do the young in Kanpur have to say? Well, to speak to the young, you have to do something that is quite young, because if you speak to the 40, 50, 60-year-olds, they'll say, oh no, nothing sweet, diabetes, you know. But the young don't have such issues. So that's why we've come to one of the oldest Softy shops right here that have been serving Softy and ice cream. It's called Pinnay's Temptation. Since 1960. It's a 62-year-old setup right here in the heart of Kanpur, and look at this, it's fantastic. This had our video journalist Sachin Gupta tripping. Life is like ice cream, enjoy it before it melts. So is this the philosophy of the young and restless of Kanpur? Before I go across to them, they're right here seated, they're going to speak to us, articulate their views. I have been told that they do it properly, hold back no punches. I have with me Mr. Arora, who's been running this legacy for 62 years. 62-year-old Softy shop.
Yes. We are the third generation in this business.
When your grandfather established this,
yes,
Softy would have been something totally new to Kanpur.
Something new.
So how has it been to be in this business right in the heart of Kanpur?
It's very nice and very passionate. I am very passionate about it, and we are continuing the legacy of our great grandfathers.
Fantastic. I look forward not just in our conversation but also in the form of that Softy.
Yes.
I'm not going to leave you. Huh?
Yes.
You have to give me some Softy, and
Definitely.
also to these.
Yeah.
Let's have a round of what is the best Softy here? Vanilla?
You can have vanilla.
Okay, sure. So vanilla Softy for all of us.
Vanilla.
Yeah. So let me get into the conversation. That's our Softy in the making, and let's now start our conversation. Hi. How are you guys?
Fine.
Young and restless of Kanpur, right? Let's begin with you. What's your name?
Sarthak Mehrotra.
Sarthak.
Yeah.
What about you?
Anjali Arora.
Anjali.
Aditya.
Aditya.
Nandini Mehrotra.
Nandini. And
Sanjeevni.
Sanjeevni. Okay. Fine. So, it's election season.
Yeah.
I'm assuming all of you are 18 plus.
Yeah.
Eligible voters. First time voters?
Not the first time, but we both are first time voters.
You are first time voters. Okay.
First time for the MLA elections.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
First time for the MLA election.
Same with you? What about you? Same. Okay, so everyone is going to vote for the first time in this Vidhan Sabha election. This is very, very significant. Let me start by asking you, what according to you are the issues?
Well-
What will be the basis on which you will press the button?
Well, if you consider my opinion, I think the main issue would be the last year second wave of COVID. We all know what happened during those days. Like many of my close friends and family, they were all fighting for just a single bed in Uttar Pradesh. Not only in Uttar Pradesh, in the whole India. But we know what happened in Uttar Pradesh because people were literally fighting for their life just to get one single bed in the hospital. And they have to pay like lakhs of rupees just to get a single bed. So I think the health infrastructure which Mr. Yogi was putting forward to us was not at all good. So I think my main issue for which I'll be voting for in this election would be the second wave of COVID. And there are many other things like,
Did you see a loss in the family?
not in the family, fingers crossed. I'm really hopeful.
No, in the extended family, because
Yeah,
I feel that you are
in
tearing
the,
up a little.
in the extended family and many of my friends. And
that's
as
very tragic.
so that's very tragic, because I've seen people like just a small family and both the parents are in the hospital, only the child has to do. And this single child of 16 years or 17 years, they are fighting for just to get a bed in the hospital. So when the situation is this bad, it is very tragic.
Yeah, I know. Let's make you feel a little better with a Softy. Please.
Thank you so much.
Please. Okay. What about you? What according to you is the big issue? And if I were you, I wouldn't leave that Softy. I would start eating.
Yeah. So staying in Kanpur for last 2 years after college, I realized that in the other state that I was staying at, women's safety was dealt
What
with.
state was that?
Goa.
Oh,
I
wow.
was in Goa
This is
for-
also going to polls.
Yeah, so I was in Goa for 4 years earlier to this, and I did not face any women safety concerns over there, even if I was traveling at night. Even at 3 a.m. if my flight landed, I did not see a concern. But here I get scared. There have been incidences when I have called the police helpline at night when I faced some issues, when some people started following me. So women's safety is a very big concern.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the claims that are being made that on the law and order front the government has done remarkably well, much better than the previous regime? How would you respond to that?
So if you would call them at a time which is not off duty, or it's during the day.
Not an ungodly hour.
Yeah,
okay.
That time they are responsive, but most of the incidents happen at ungodly hours, and at that time the responses are really slow. That is what I felt. The response time is really slow, the turnaround time is slow, the time that you will get a call back, it takes a very long time. And then even when the police shows up, they are really like drowsy. It clearly shows they are not alert. They want to just, shush you up and send you back.
Okay.
So that is an issue that I've personally faced.
And this you are facing at a time when there is a government which says that it has done remarkably well on the law and order front.
Yeah.
So I just shudder to think what your opinion would have been in the previous regime. You wouldn't remember, would you? You would have been a teenager in 2012, 2013. It's unfair to ask you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know.
We were more protected at that time, I would say. Now we are more independent. So we try to deal with the issues on our own rather than involving parents.
Correct.
At that time we were more dependent. So yeah, the incidents I wouldn't be able to recall earlier.
Yeah. But your assessment of the law and order situation in these past 3-4 years is that you feel that it could be better still.
Yeah.
Especially at ungodly hours, which is when the crime really happens.
Yeah.
Now to a boy chomping off his ice cream, what according to you is the key issue?
I think the main area that has been neglected in UP for the past 5 years is education. I think the government has not done enough to, in that sector, because we saw during the COVID time the schools were shut, and even then the most education was online. But private schools provided their students with facilities, but I don't think government school did that. So, and even as a student after class 12, I have to go outside UP. There are not many opportunities present here. So I think that's something that.
But you see, here's the thing. While that is a very important issue for you, on the opportunities and the employment front, would you say, or would you discount the fact that we were generally in a bad state and continue to be there, or there has been a slight improvement on that front? Because it's not like Uttar Pradesh was in terms of employment or health facilities or education up there with Kerala. It was always like this.
No,
Has it, according to you, gotten better or worse?
No, UP was never very good in that state, but
Softies also. Yeah.
but we gave the vote to the government in these bases only, ki they'll come and change these things. But I don't think these changes have been made. They were only false promises. And apart from that, you said the health facilities, as he mentioned, during the COVID we all saw what happened. So I don't think that has improved any better.
Yeah.
I think it has deteriorated only.
Oh, why do you come to this assessment? Why do you say it has only deteriorated? Is it because of something that you have experienced? Because I'm sure the question that I asked her is valid for you also.
Yes.
You wouldn't really remember how it was in the previous regime to be able to make a comparison. So why do you come to this assessment that it has gotten worse? Just curious.
I'm just saying that about the health infrastructure, during the COVID period we saw what happened. Like people were fighting for their lives and there were not any single beds available.
Yeah.
So I don't
So
think
COVID and its management, according to you, is a very big marker
Very big issue.
of how things are managed by a government. Okay. Let me ask you something. Is there anything you like about this regime? Anything that you feel they did right, which was good?
In my personal opinion, I don't think so. It is like I don't like the things that are happening around me.
Like what?
Every time there is an election, one topic that is there always is religion, Hindu Muslim.
Well said.
And I don't like it because I think the youth, they don't care if someone is Jat or if someone is any Muslim or low caste or anything. They just want development, they want equality in the people, and I don't think so this government has done that. equality thing, I don't think so it's there.
So when you say that the youth does not think this way, you are speaking of people like you. Do you feel that this is representative of all youth or youth like you?
People from the age of 18 to 25, 24. I don't think so. They care about these things like, you know, the Jat things and all that, caste system, or in sub mein they don't believe it.
But see, this government says that we do not believe in all this. We want sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas, sabka prayas.
But why do we see every time there is an election anywhere in the country, we see this topic of religion always there?
And you feel that this is like perpetuated by them?
Yeah, I think so. And I also feel ki they are making the Ram Mandir for say. They should, like, they are, you know, collecting itne sare funds and all that stuff, but they should do all that for the education, for the finance, for that health sector and all other like infrastructure and all that. ये सब जो पैसा मंदिर में उन्होंने लगाया वो सब अगर उसमें लगाएंगे तो शायद better हो.
So you're saying that there should be priority on schools, hospitals,
Yeah.
along with the temple or away from the temple?
Temple should be given a less, you know,
Less priority.
than these things.
So can't it be both according to you? See, because when you say, I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask you this question, religion is a very emotional topic, right?
Yeah.
And in an emotional country like ours, I'm sure we all come from households where we get scolded by our parents that, you know, you're just not religious. You don't keep this fast.
Yeah.
I think our हमारे संस्कार जो हैं वो खत्म हो जाएंगे after the. I'm sure you go through the same.
Yeah.
So you feel that both these things can coexist, where the government can put priority on both religion and development.
Government can try that also, but they should have a system जिसमें they are giving a little bit more priority to these things than that.
Fair enough.
Because we all want a country that is educated, that has equality between everyone. And मंदिर तो बनते रहते हैं.
Very dangerous territory, huh? Let's quickly come back to development, huh? What about you? What is your poll issue?
I think my core issue would be the polarization of the country, not in the sense that what we usually talk about in the sense of Muslim and Hindu, but anything for that matter. So I think the country has become very divided. Either you are with me or you are against me. They don't realize that there is a middle ground. That there can be issues where I agree with you, there can be issues where I do not agree with you. And I think we are very, very... so there is a lot of left-wing extremism, right-wing extremism, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, everything. I think we are all straying away from the topics that are actually important when it comes to elections. We need to concentrate more on issues that are like development, education, healthcare sector, employment. I mean, recently we've seen the highest unemployment rate in the country because of COVID. If in the second wave, like he rightly pointed out, we've all experienced loss. I don't think anybody in this country has not experienced loss. Everybody has gone through. Were people able to get beds? And then all of these politicians, they claim that we did this, we did that, but truly they do nothing. And none of them are talking on the right points if we see. It's always religion. It's always Ram Mandir. It's always hijab. I mean, I don't get it. These are not points to be talked about when it comes to elections. People need to start talking more about development. Whether people are getting jobs, whether there's a good education in this country, especially in UP. I mean, we are so far back. Such a huge state, such a huge demographic, such huge diversity, we've had 4 or 5 prime ministers from Allahabad, Kanpur and all of these places. They've all studied in Kanpur University, and what is it now? Nobody wants to stay here and literally study. Nobody wants to be in Kanpur. And in 5 years, if the government is claiming that we've done something, I don't truly agree to that. I have been, so I left in 2016 for Maharashtra to do my law. In the 5 years that I've been here and that I've visited, I have not seen a single bit of improvement. They say that we have done good on law and order. I mean, I don't think it is right I mean, I know it's a little controversial to talk about it, but when Vikas Dubey was killed, so there were two conflicting opinions, that either somebody like killed him and that's okay, and I don't know how that is constitutional or how it is right in the eyes of the law.
You're talking about the encounter.
Yeah, I mean, encounters, how is it right in the eyes of the law?
Yeah.
If a criminal can be killed, so can you. Once you give the police the right to do anything that they want, they will do anything that they want. How can you
That's
just
a
not?
very, very interesting point. Very so.
I
In
know
order
nothing about
to
it.
in order to fix law and order, you feel that the administration has short-circuited the processes,
Exactly.
and then it'll come back to haunt the people.
Exactly. Once you
That's a
give
very
them the
important
power,
point.
once you give them the power to do anything that they want, I mean, एक बार आपने वो दहलीज क्रॉस कर ली, like they say, it's crossed, you can't come back.
But see, the Delhi's was crossed in the past also. It's not like UP has not seen fake
I have not
encounters
seen-
in the past.
But none of the government ever claimed, na? Did the government previously claim that हम encounter कर देंगे? Was the government involved, or did they, or was it appreciated? It shouldn't be appreciated.
So you say, do you also feel that there is a sense of a divorce between a particular type of people who are fond of the government's brazenness in saying "Thoko, dekha, humne kar diya"? You think there is
We have
a
witnessed it.
Huh?
We have witnessed this.
No, see, the thing is, I'm sure some people may be the cheerleaders to this form of going about. But
that's
what is
not
your
correct.
view?
I think that's not.
It's extrajudicial. It's not right. Nobody can justify this, and it must be debated. But what is your view on?
It's very scary when the government claims that हम ठोक देंगे, because if they can do that to a criminal, if there's somebody goes against you or the government, they can do that to you also, because at the end of the day, whether whatever it is on paper, it is on paper. The politicians do control the system, and everybody knows that that's practicality, and if they're saying like this, I think everybody should be scared, because anything can happen at any time.
Very wise. What about you? Do you agree with what she's saying?
Yeah, I totally agree with her, because see, let's the thing is, we elect the government so that there can be improvements in the society. Okay, now the government is claiming that we'll encounter him in open. So I think even if he was a criminal, and everybody knows he should be given a fair chance for a trial, but he wasn't given a fair trial, and claiming that they did
Since we covered this incident, I kind of recall the government never saying that we killed him because he was a criminal. What they said was that he tried to escape, and that's why we chased him down.
Yeah.
We can look at the way everyone's laughing to this
I was
government
just coming
theory.
to that point.
It's
It was so
yes.
dramatic and like a
Like a
scene
Bollywood
from a
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
It was from a scene from a movie.
The very convenient turning turtle of a police jeep,
Like-
and him trying to escape, and then him being shot, and then these.
scores of cars are behind him, and he just get out of the car. He tried to escape.
So you don't believe this,
It's not
huh?
practically possible. Even a sane person can normal insane person could understand that it's not practically possible. Still the
And
government is
do you
claiming
know
this.
one police officer once told me that in UP there was this new concept of half encounter where chores and gangsters and all, they will be caught by the police and then shot on their leg. So then you would see these pictures of a criminal limping and being taken to the jeep. Do you think that this image of a visual of a small time petty theft accused limping and being taken to a police jeep was intended to send this message to the people, look, we are tackling law and order? And does it work? Do you think it works? This attempt to make you feel that we are fixing it.
See, shooting on the leg, I think it's still, I would not say completely correct, because still you are depriving that human of their rights. But I feel it's a totally different thing. You should not be glorifying it. I think that's the point that we are contesting. Of course, if he tried to escape, something had to be done. Other things could have been done to, capture him, because they had those resources. But some people selectively glorifying it sets a very wrong precedence in the youth. Even they can then, take law and order in their hands. Ki this was wrong, so we had the means, so we shot the person. Or we
Thoko.
Okay. So it sets a precedence in the audience and the youth as well.
So Thoko has not gone down well with the all of you all. Let's not talk about employment, right? Employment generation, claims on jobs being provided, industries, and creating an atmosphere which is friendly for many industries to come here, for industrial hubs and parks to come, and then more employment being generated. Do you agree with these claims?
I don't think Kanpur mein we can see that there is much employment. No, there are not many MNCs coming here and providing employment. So I don't think that's true.
Okay. How about you?
Yeah,
Sorry, I can't
agree.
resist. I'll continue to have my softy, otherwise it will melt in my hand.
I
It'll be a
agree.
travesty if I let my softy melt. So, please carry on.
Yeah, I agree with him. Like, there are no MNCs. Kanpur is actually a business town. Mostly there are businesses, small businesses here, and less job opportunities are here. So yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. What about you?
I don't think that there have been any improvements on the the employment front. For employment, there needs to be companies that come and then give you employment. And when the service sector comes, the entire scenario changes in itself. More educated people come, more young people come. So it also helps in helping with law and order, women's safety and everything. So if you look at Mumbai, Pune, because there is a lot of service sector, there are a lot of young people there. We could move out at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and we could not worry because we knew that the people are not really that bad.
Correct.
So I think there's a...
So would you feel that, see, people have been leaving many cities and towns and villages of Uttar Pradesh in search of jobs elsewhere. And this is not a phenomenon which has begun only in 2017 when Yogi Adityanath came to power. It has been happening. Migration from places like UP and Bihar is a story, very old story. Would you be willing to give this government a second shot in trying to improve these employment opportunities, or as first-time voters? And I'm not asking you who you'll vote for. It'll be very impolite of me. But would this factor? Would you be willing to give the government a second chance as they want in order to fix these issues? Like, for instance, between these two people, Akhilesh Yadav and Yogi Adityanath, who do you think has a better shot, or Mayawati, or Priyanka Gandhi, who has a better shot in coming close to fulfilling your expectations?
Did they fulfill these expectations for 6 years that they were in the center? That's my question. If I would have seen an improvement in the entire country, then I would have been like, all right, they need more time, and obviously UP needs a lot of time. I mean, a lot of work and a lot of time. UP does need that.
Yeah.
There is a need to change people's mentality, people's thinking and everything. But could I see a positive change in the 6 years that they were in power in the center, for me to think that I should give Yogi Adityanath another chance, or not? Or should I or not?
According to, you're a first-time voter, you'll give him a chance for the first time as a voter.
But I was
Indirectly.
I am trying. It's my job as a journalist to provoke and get an answer. Anyway, now for the tough question towards the very end. Let's talk about personalities. Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati, Priyanka Gandhi and Yogi Adityanath. Of these four, what is your pecking order?
If we go directly to the personality, I think Priyanka Gandhi has the most. But if we go towards the work, from 2012 to 17, I was just a teenager, but I still somewhat remembers what Akhilesh Yadav did.
Okay.
Like before 2012, we weren't used to get electricity 24/7. Like there were around 8 to 10 hours of power cut every day.
During the Akhilesh regime?
No, before the Akhilesh.
Oh, before Mayawati regime.
Mayawati regime. After Akhilesh came, these power cuts started decreasing, and I think from 2014 we were getting 24 hours electricity.
So this continues to this day.
But this continues to this day.
So on electricity front,
I'll
both
say
governments have done well.
But the thing is, Akhilesh started it. So I would, if you say.
So Priyanka Gandhi, for you, Priyanka Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, then Mayawati or Yogi?
Well,
It's okay. I told you, no uncomfortable. The moment you feel uncomfortable, you can say sorry. What about you?
Priyanka Gandhi.
Who's more relatable? for you?
Priyanka Gandhi, because I really like some social causes related to stray animals. So there have been incidences where I wanted to report some things. She works a lot on that front as well for stray animals, and whenever I faced problems, everyone directed me to tweeting to her or somehow writing out to her, and it has worked. So that is one path where I relate to her, and she looks after these things. So that is one thing. The other thing is I would go with Yogi also on this because earlier there was no support in those. We talked about the ungodly hours. But in the non-ungodly hours also, there was no support earlier, but now it is there.
You mean in terms of policing?
Yes.
Okay.
So there has
on the
been
policing front, you have said that there has been an improvement in this last regime,
Yes.
and that's why Mr. Yogi Adityanath finds himself
There has
in
been
a
great
comfortable.
improvement in policing in the last 1 year.
Yeah, there has
So you also support him on that front, policing.
Like since when Kanpur became the commissionerate,
Yeah.
they have been very,
That's
great
true. That's
improvement.
true. Actually true.
Traffic. Especially with the traffic in the last 1 year since
Oh, the traffic in your city, I have to tell you. It is I come from Delhi, nothing to write home about, but this is next level stuff.
It has gone better.
Huh?
And just because right now these days the metro is under construction, so that's why
It's very bad this area. It's very bad in this area. They've closed it down, but we can't help it. I mean, metro is being constructed, so we understand.
Let me ask you a question. When you will go out to vote, will the issue matter, your local representative matter, or the personality of or the cult of Yogi, Akhilesh, Mayawati and Priyanka Gandhi matter? What according to you will matter? Issue, candidate, or this cult?
I think the cult won't matter, but issues and candidates are very good points to vote on.
I hope you realize none of these parties, in fact all these parties are presenting their chief ministerial face, barring the exception of Congress. All the parties have already declared their chief ministerial face. So it's pretty much a cult election. You've got a face to the party. So do you still feel face doesn't matter? Huh?
That has been there for 10 years now. I mean, everybody's have been voting on the face of Modi ji. So I think this is a trend nowadays. It's a trend.
bigger face in UP is still Mr. Modi than Mr. Yogi.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh? Even now?
Even now.
Okay.
I think that till the day he's alive, he will still be the
It's
face
not
of
UP,
the
it's
BJP.
the whole country. BJP has been using, and I think they have been successful in it, using Modi ji as the face.
What do you think?
Like-
Issues matter.
Issues matter a lot, and I think
Not the candidate? Not
no
the
candidate
cult?
matters, not the cult. The cult doesn't matter. But I would
For
say,
you?
yes, for me. For me, the main thing is issue, and then the candidate.
What about you?
Candidate and issue both are equal. The cult doesn't matter.
Okay. But I spoke to a lot of young and the old in the rural pockets because we've been touring extensively. And it is a very interesting thing in Uttar Pradesh. People say panja, hathi, pool, cycle. Huh? That is the way. So that people talk more about symbols and then the personalities. And then the issues come in. And the candidate somehow is always, especially in the last 5 years. Do you know your local MLA?
Amitabh Bajpayee from the SP.
You took some time, so you don't know.
No, I know him. Yeah, Amitabh Bajpayee. I think the candidate and the issues matter a lot, and candidate is like we all have seen a development in this area a lot. So yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, my point would be like the candidate should always matter, but the ground reality is he's always behind in this.
Yeah.
I think it's a different between two generations. Generation
Yeah, it's a different
above us will for them the symbol will matter more. I think for us, if I can, what I've been gauging with other people, I think the candidate matters more. And for me also, I would say that the candidate is the most important
Candidate
part.
should matter, but the ground reality is
Okay, what do you love about the UP election most?
it's like a
Very
festival.
entertaining. It's very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
What do you find entertaining? I love the songs people make. ये जो गाड़ी चलती रहती है ना, it's fascinating.
It's very interesting.
Very creative also.
Very creative. People come, they greet you, and I mean, everybody is there. I mean, you see that on TV you see that people are very divided, but if you will actually go on the ground and
boss, this we have seen in TV debates also. आप ऐसे हैं, हम ऐसे हैं, after और सब बढ़िया, हाँ. Well, according to you, what do you find the best about UP election?
No, as you said, it's like a festival here. Everybody enjoys it, you know. Everybody has their opinion ki what will happen, what will not happen. So it's very entertaining and very engaging.
That is so UP, no? Everyone knows how to fix the problems of Uttar Pradesh.
my brother always says, my elder brother, he says that UP में हर कोई नेता है. Everybody is a नेता.
What do you think?
I think I really like the nukkad one. Her nukkad pe, you know, there is a group of people and they are discussing this thing. Panja ko vote dena, hathi ko vote dena, aisa.
But if you go there, you'll find 5 nukkad. People will talk about this only right now. What will happen in the market.
And with great confidence. Like I was in Kanpur Dehat, one person comes from the middle of nowhere, mic लगाइए, हम बात करेंगे.
And everyone is so, you know, enthusiastic to, you know, speak about it also.
Yeah.
Like everyone has their own opinion and they want their opinions to be, you know, heard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lovely state.
Yeah.
If you start listening to them, you will meet 5 people from different parties.
Yeah. And they'll keep adding up.
And you have to resonate with each of them. Otherwise, they are not going to bode well with you. So now you are there in every where they'll say कि हाँ ये तो हमारा ही है.
It's like a TV debate on every nukkad.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, thank you so much. This was such a lovely conversation. I have learnt a lot from what you have said. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.